Welcome, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to 2K Sports for this NBA presentation. Tonight, we'll see the Brooklyn Nets as they play against the Atlanta Hawks. This is Kevin Harlan courtside with Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg, and our reporter tonight on the sideline, David Aldridge. Tip-off goes to Brooklyn. Well, we've got a special matchup for you tonight. Both these backcourts, Clark, possess some really outstanding firepower.
And to me, Kevin, it's going to come down to the backcourt performances, quite honestly. Whichever team performs well in that space and area of the game, I think will have the edge tonight, because both of these teams rely heavily on their guards to carry the offense.
And so it's the Nets getting on the board first. A baseline J. It's deflected.
Timed it just right and sent it back.
Launches a three. Here's Daly. 2 free throws coming up, and they call the shooting foul. It's on JaVale McGee.
Really the right play defensively. If you can't block, force them to the line.
Yeah, exactly. Prevent the layup, give them a little bump, and then maybe they'll think twice about coming into the lane next time. And if they don't think about it, at least they might be distracted by your presence.
And let's face it, every point matters in this league. You have to take advantage of these freebies.
Enzo Thomas will bring it up for Atlanta. 4-point game. From 20 feet out, and he connects with the jumper. And just about a minute into the first quarter. Hop ball, covered by Smith. And he uses the glass on the layup.
And once he got to the 10, I think he was surprised to find himself that wide open.
Well, this early, they should be showing a lot more energy on defense. It's not there.
Now, here's Thomas.
And although Thomas is a generous 5'9", he does not fear anybody. I mean, he takes it up strong. We'll see if he can cash in at the line here.
The Atlanta shooting their first free throws of the game on this trip to the line. And he sinks the second. First quarter of play with about a minute and a half gone. Pass to Young. Over Horford. And yep, finally drops after rolling around the rim.
And the lack of effort to fight over the screen there makes that an easy shot.
Well, I'm going to credit the screen. I mean, that's a good, strong pick he lays there.
And for a power forward, he can sure get up. I mean, because of that leaping ability, it kind of offsets his height disadvantage.
Hop ball, covered by Smith. And the officials calling for a 3-second violation.
And taking a look now at the stats for Johnson. Last year, getting it done. Averaged about 18 points a game, 4 assists and 3 rebounds. And you talk about guys who just have a nose for putting up points. He is one of them.
Yeah, he sure is, and he rarely has back-to-back bad games. If he has an off night, he usually follows that up with a big night.
You can't look at the result of that shot. They'll take that whenever they get it.
Well, you know, I hear you. That's a good look, but when you're that wide open, I think you got to knock it down. Boy, they're on fire right now, cooking with gas, starting this one out 4-5.
And now the first timeout called here for the Hawks.
some stats for McGee. He had a strong showing last season. 8th in blocks, and he was such a reliable option offensively, finishing in the top 10 in field goal percentage.
Great anticipation and timing. That's how he ended up a top 10 shot blocker. Johnson can't hit.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that.
A 3-ball. And again, Brooklyn with the triple.
And the story here, Kevin, early on is how well they've shot the basketball.
Very high percentage so far, and if you want to start a game hot, that's the way to do it.
Now here is Smith. Back to Thomas. It's stolen. Plays it in off the breakaway. 7 points in the game.
Defensively, giving up far too many open rhythm looks.
And to battle back, they've got to shore up the defense. I mean, there's no other way to come back from a deficit unless you play good defense.
Here's Johnson following the bucket by the Nets. Rejected by Young. They recover it. Back to Thomas. Just 5 on the clock. To stop the run. No good at the rim.
No doubt he's struggling right now from the field. Let's see if he can get it going this quarter.
Nice ball movement by Brooklyn. Deflects the pass. Thomas with the steal. They could use a big shot here to get this offense going.
Too many empty possessions. Right now they need a basket.
And no fear of where the D was on that one. Smith going right to the basket.
Lock at 6. The Nets need to get a shot off here. Hands it from downtown.
They're getting a lot of their points outside the paint. 3 of their last 5 baskets are from three-point range.
Johnson kicks to Smith. To Johnson. Solid play on the low block, and that one's good.
Too much strength right there. From Johnson, a bully inside.
Nets leading by 10. There's the screen. Shoots the 3. Second chance shot. And terrific work on the offensive glass, and he picks up 2.
I like their focus coming in. Terrific execution so far.
And you know, it's an all-out effort they've come in with. Very aggressive offense so far.
Time call here. The Hawks decide to talk it over. With a pause in the action, let's show you the teams that were best from the line last season. Number 1, the Nets.
You know, they made that a point of emphasis a season ago. I mean, they spent a lot of time in practice drilling their free throws, and I think it really paid off with the best percentage in the league.
Joe Johnson on the wing, guarded by Holiday. Got a piece of it, and they get it back. And he comes up with the deuce. Nets leading by 10. McGee with the block.
Yeah, if you had to pick the top priority from McGee, I think that's it. Contest shots, block shots, get in the air, use that length to deny shots at the rim.
Now here is Holiday, still without a basket. Here's Popoff.
And despite that miss, a strong start for them offensively.
Yeah, they're scoring with confidence, making them count in the early going here.
Thomas kicks to Horford. Smith inside, guarded by Holiday. And the foul on Drew Holiday. That is his first foul of the game. Now off the inbound. Shot is good off the back rim and in. Johnson's got it back down to a single-digit deficit for the Hawks. Lets the three fly. Atlanta with the rebound. Their last game, a win against Boston, looking to carry it into this one.
And really showed their depth when they needed it most. On the road, having to manufacture points.
And, you know, the guys on the bench have great confidence in themselves. And when their name was called, they were ready to compete and contribute.
He's off on the first. So, Clark, this season is really only just getting started. Think these teams are all coming together well?
More or less, that's the case. I mean, things are clicking better for some than others. That's normal and expected. But we've got a lot of time for squads to coalesce and figure their stuff out.
The Nets making a switch here. Conley's checked in. And the first timeout called of the game for Brooklyn. Nets leading by 7. For the three. Rebound by Johnson.
And even against defense as tight as that, you almost expect him to still bury those.
And it's good for 2. Smith's got his second bucket of the game to go.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
And on the flip side, the defenders have to show more fight on the interior. They've got to offer more resistance here.
And they're getting their points now almost exclusively from the triple. 4 of their last 5 makes are from beyond the arc.
It's hard for me to watch this. I mean, the defense practically giving them those shots.
And let's take a moment to look at some stats for Young. He's coming off an excellent season. Last season put up about 17 points per, 8 assists, and 9 rebounds. And he's such a big part of what they do offensively.
Yeah, he's just got that nice feel, that sixth sense, knowing where to be on the floor to help his teammates generate points.
Jordan Crawford's checked in for Atlanta. And finished off by Conley.
That is how you finish.
And it's Thomas with the ball. He brings it up for the Hawks. Trailing here by 8. Pass to Smith. Back to Thomas. Shot clock at 5. Here he goes. Yes, and it's Smith with the assist that time. And it's 8 points for Isaiah Thomas.
And Thomas has really deceptive speed, change of pace speed. Cuts into the lane with purpose and usually puts his defender off balance.
Oh, beautiful fake there. That's how to burn an over-aggressive defender.
And a chance for just a second now to check out the scoring breakdown for Brooklyn.
You know, so far in this one, these guys have been knocking it down from distance. You've got to like their confidence as this game continues. They're on a nice roll.
And another key for them tonight, attacking the basket. Taking it right to the hoop, never a bad idea.
Now here's Sullinger. And there's the call by the official. They'll count the basket here following the goaltending call.
That's a very close call. I'm sure he thinks it's a clean block, but looks like it was on the way down.
Young, a screen on Murphy. It's Young on the wing from deep. And Horford pulls it down.
Definitely a situation you want to make sure you don't give him too good of a look.
Offensive rebound.
Man, I can't believe he blew that gimme, guys. Well, I know he's frustrated about that.
And he makes no mistake on the slam dunk.
Puts the D in a tough spot when you have a point guard who can throw it down.
He really does, GA. He really does put pressure on him.
And you know, guys, showing how dynamic a weapon he is for this offense, they feed off of that energy and ability to make plays. It gets them going.
So it's Atlanta now, following the bucket by the Nets. Horford sets a screen for Crawford. Atlanta needs to get off a shot here. Here's Iverson. The rebound by Young. Nets leading by 8. Young, a screen on Murphy. And stolen by Iverson. Now the Hawks moving it the other way. Pass to Murphy. Back to Iverson. Horford against Young. It's tipped. He's all alone. Pulls up for 3. Rebounded by the Hawks. Now Crawford. Coming in off a 10-point game his last outing. Pass to Murphy. Now here's Iverson. Defended by Young. Horford in the post. And he can't bank that one in. And for Brooklyn, they're shooting very well. 58%. The offense is flowing right now early for them. Screen by Young. Four on the clock. He takes it in. He drains it as the shot clock ticks down. Young's got his second bucket of the night.
Gets it in close and doesn't waste that high percentage shot.
Now here is Murphy. 11 points for him in that last game against Boston. Horford no luck.
Total breakdown from the defense there. I mean, he'll usually take advantage when that's the case.
Now a timeout called by Brooklyn. Johnson, he's checked in for Al Horford.
And they were in the top half of the league in opponent field goal percentage. Did a lot of work on the defensive end, always trying to take away the opponent's best shooter.
And you just brought up their assists. They worked the ball around so well. Their offense last season revolved around their passing game. Now here is Yao. Yao draws the double. And he could not get that one to go. Out of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. It's on Jared Sullinger.
Obviously, Yao is just so huge. Defensively, it's almost impossible to guard him legally.
That one misses. And stolen by Yao. The shot goes in. First shot, first basket.
Excellent all-around performance so far, hence the big lead.
Yeah, you know, they've had the advantage at both ends. They've got all the momentum early on.
Now here's Johnson. Coming in off a 21-point game his last outing. They could use a bucket. He takes it up and lays it in. Johnson's got 6 points.
And Johnson doesn't lack confidence attacking inside. I just love watching him go to work down low.
Conley, the pass to Yao. Can't hit from in close. The Hawks trail by 10. Pass to Sullinger. On the wing, Johnson. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line.
Yeah, the defender all over.
He got it good there. I mean, that's why the shot was so far off.
Atlanta shooting their 7th and 8th free throw attempts for the game right here.
Yeah, and fairly decent a season ago, about 77% from the line.
The basket's coming early and often in the first quarter. It's the Nets. They lead by 9. Live from Brooklyn, New York, you're watching 2K Sports. And welcome back to the second quarter of action. Plenty of basketball left to play, but this one has been one-sided so far. And looking at what we've seen so far from the Nets, what do you guys think?
Well, this is the edge that great rim protection can give you.
Yeah, you know, you have a guy in there blocking a bunch of shots or multiple players blocking shots. It causes the offense to think twice when they go up for shots in there.
Here's Bertans after the basket by Atlanta. Down low. Nice fake, but the layup off the mark. The Hawks trail by 7. So here's Murphy. Hasn't made one yet. The 3 from Iverson. And that one is off.
And, you know, even though that shot didn't go down, I like how they got him a wide open look in space there.
And it's going to be out of bounds. The Nets will retain possession.
Great instincts from him to get a hand on that pass and tip it out.
And, you know, even though they didn't come up with the steal, that's still a nice defensive play.
Drew Holiday's checked in for Brooklyn. Yao kicks to Holiday. Sinks the triple. Holiday's got his first 3 points of the game.
You know, he's often the setup guy, but Holiday gives you just as much, maybe even more, as a terrific finisher.
Here's Johnson in the hoop for his 4th field goal. 4 for 7 shooting and looking for more.
Just such a well-rounded offensive player. He's got a little bit of everything.
Conley against Murphy. To the inside. The kick out to Holiday. Conley, the pass to Yao. Nice ball movement by Brooklyn. Knocks down the 3-ball. Holiday's got 6.
He's never in a hurry. Great patience that time from Holiday. No rush, even though the shot clock was winding down.
Back to Crawford. And here in the second, 2 minutes gone by. And blocked. That one goes careening off the glass. Stolen by Conley. Holiday surveying the floor. Pass to Yao. And for those of you just joining us, we're almost 2.5 minutes into the second quarter.
And you got to appreciate the skill set Ming brings to the table. Knows no one can match up against him and simply lofting these inside shots up and in.
Bertans against Crawford. Traps in the tray. Crawford's got 5 points in the quarter.
And guarding him on the perimeter isn't a priority for them right now, but if this continues, it will be.
Timeout called, the Nets. And the Hawks making a change here. Brewers checked in. Now at the break on the floor, you can see the teams that led the NBA in steals last year. 5th best, the Nets.
You could tell by watching them how much they enjoyed playing defense. They seem to have an endless reserve of energy flying around and pressuring the basketball.
Here's Young driving inside. And then Young with the dunk.
Once he took off on the drive, he never looked back.
And so it's Johnson who brings the ball up for Atlanta. A 12-point game. Gets it to drop, and now he's shooting at a 5 for 8 clip.
Boy, he's doing everything he can at this point. The rest of his teammates need to step up and give him some help.
Daly, Sullinger defending. Here's Daly. Again, the Nets for 2.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Well, I agree with you. 4 of their last 5 baskets have been exactly of that variety.
Now here's Crawford. 5 points in the game. It drops for his 3rd basket. He's missed only 1 shot.
Really starting to find himself now, guys, after getting shut out in the first quarter.
Coming up tonight, we'll see the Brooklyn Nets as they play against the Charlotte Hornets. This is Kevin Harlan with Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg and our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. Here we are, still very early in the season, Greg. How long does it take for a team to really gel together?
Depends on the existing chemistry, but most teams are going to need a few games. And others you'll find look like they've been playing together for months based on their experience.
Roten dishes to Middleton. Pass to Thomas. Charlotte moving it around. 5 on the clock. Now here's Drummond. Lets it go from deep. Good in the assist goes to Thomas.
And the first of many to come. Explosive offensive talent on both sides.
Boy, I tell you what, that's going to be like a pinball machine, the way that scoreboard's going to light up.
Now here's Johnson. Oh, and that one, no question, powered it down.
Puts the D in a tough spot when you have a point guard who can throw it down.
He really does, GA. He really does put pressure on him.
And you know, guys, showing how dynamic a weapon he is for this offense, they feed off of that energy and ability to make plays. It gets them going.
And here are the Hornets now, following the bucket by the Nets. 2 points, that one goes.
Sweet string music. Nestled that one in nicely.
There's a screen. Johnson gets the bucket.
And Johnson doesn't lack confidence attacking inside. I just love watching him go to work down low.
And let's head over to the sideline and catch up with David Aldridge.
Thanks. Yeah, the Nets head coach and I were able to chat. Now, the two of us talked about how important it is to make sure Chris Middleton doesn't get going. Coach said he's an all-star caliber player for a reason. Now, I told our guys to make sure we know where he is on the floor at all times. Now, it sounds like they respect and are aware just how impactful Middleton can be. Back to you guys.
All right, David, thanks. Offline from the top of the key. So for the Hornets, their last game, a win against the Spurs. Wallace kicks to Roten. Pass to Thomas. Middleton for 3. Brooklyn with the rebound. And just under 2.5 minutes elapsed here in the first. Screen by Young. Shoots it. And all around the rim that time before dropping in.
Fantastic read by the ball handler, going himself into the two-man action.
Here's Roten. Granger with the rebound. For Brooklyn, they've gone 3 of 4 from the field to start out the game. Granger, a screen on Wallace. Granger outside. Johnson with it. Guarded now by Gerald Wallace. And the foul called on Joe Johnson. That's his first foul.
Yeah, really good defensive play to cut him off there and square up.
Excellent example of toughness and physicality on defense. Got his nose right in the middle of things and made a play.
Now here's Roten. Coming in off a 21-point game his last outing. Drummond passes to Thomas. Over Granger. Hits some rim on the way in, and the bucket's good. Thomas got his second basket of the game.
That's reading the defense and getting to the right spot.
The rebound by Roten.
It does not get much easier than that, but somehow he came up empty there.
Middleton outside. Back to Roten. Outside Thomas. The shot by Middleton. Wide open. Offline with his 3. That's trailed by 4. Here's Johnson. And taken away by Wallace. And a fast break now for the Hornets. Pull-up jumper. Here's Drummond. No good. Shot missing. Good defensive work there by Young. the three. And Chris Middleton pulls it down.
Hard to figure out how he doesn't knock that one down. No defender in sight.
Oh, and here comes Johnson all alone. That's his second shot and his second basket. He's 2 for 2.
Just great anticipation and awareness to come up with the steal and then trigger the fast break.
Picked his pocket. And they're running. Floats it up for Young. And Young with the stuff.
It almost feels like 2 buckets coming off the steal like it did.
The Hornets have gone 4 for 9 from the field to start this game. And now the first timeout called here for the Hornets. Their last game, a win against San Antonio, looking to carry that into this one.
Yeah, their long-range artillery hit the mark more often than not. A great equalizer when you're on the road.
They found their rhythm and kept piling it on. And a huge boost of confidence on the road for sure.
Roten the pass to Thomas. Roten sets the screen for Thomas. 5 to shoot. Into the lane. Oh, and the jam by Thomas.
Oh, great job to punch it in off the drive. Let them know you've arrived.
The call on the shot, it sends him to the line. The Nets shooting their first free throws of the game, and he makes the first.
In lots of games, free throws are the difference. You never want to leave points at the line.
And the Hornets making a change here. Burks is checked in. And so he hits both.
He's as solid as it gets from the line. I mean, give him the opportunity. He's cashing in on those.
Charlotte has gone 2 of 4 from beyond the arc to start the game. Now here's Roten. Scoreless thus far. Bobbed up there for Drummond, and it's Drummond with the jam.
How about the superb anticipation from Drummond, sensing the opportunity to go for the alley-oop and then converting in style.
Young against Thomas. To the wing right side. From past the arc, gets the three-pointer to fall. 9 points in the game so far.
And so far, he's been dominant this period, making the most of his opportunities.
Roten is looking it over. A shot by Burks. Nobody around. Bangs home the trifecta.
And an eye for an eye. Both teams working to stretch the floor.
Nothing like answering back. One team gets 3, you fire 3 of your own. Boom.
And not settling for the jumper. Takes it all the way to the rim.
And here's Roten. He'll bring it up for Charlotte. And this is their first time matched up with Brooklyn this year.
In this game, just the first of 4 meetings between these two. They'll get quite familiar with each other by season's end.
You know what, guys? I don't know. I get the feeling that this could be an interesting matchup this season. This first game will tell us a lot.
I'll tell you what, I'm not sure these guys can keep this up.
High-octane action for sure. Crowd-pleasing already.
Daly defended by Drummond. Johnson up top. There's the triple. And again, Brooklyn with the triple.
And zero hesitation from Johnson. Whenever ISO Joe has a look, he's going to let it go.
And the first timeout called of the game for Brooklyn.
The Nets call timeout.
And Brooklyn making a change here. Krasov's checked in.
Fourth in rebounding. And they were top 10 in opponent field goal percentage. They did not give up a lot of easy looks on that side.
And with the #1 ranking in fast break points last season, GA, I don't think you get an argument that they were the most entertaining team in the entire league. Roten with it. Middleton outside. Pass to Burks. Unloads. And it falls over the rim and in. Burks has got 5.
How about the court vision of Middleton? Just so good at finding the open man.
Goes up high for the two-handed dunk.
Just focusing on the task at hand. That's all you can do.
Yeah, these teams trading punches right now. I mean, it's table tennis. Back and forth we go.
Now here's Roten. Pass to Drummond. And here's Middleton. Shot clock at 6. Drummond with a screen on Johnson. Back to Drummond. And there's the shot clock violation. Couldn't get the shot off in time. With this break in the action, we can show you the teams that had the most rebounds last season. The Hornets 4th.
There's not a whole lot to complain about with these numbers. I mean, they made a commitment to rebounding last year, and it was obvious. It showed on a consistent basis. They put great effort into rebounding the ball last season.
Here's Krasov. Plays it up and banks it in. Now it's a 3-point Brooklyn lead.
Not easy amongst the trees to get that score, but he just stayed poised.
Burks' shot is good.
And their post play has been really solid right off the bat.
The kick out to Young. Here's Krasov. Burks covering. Launches it. It's Drummond with the rebound. Charlotte's gone 3 of 5 from three-point land so far in the ballgame. Thomas's shot is off. Brooklyn's gone 2 of 4 from beyond the arc to start the game. Unloads from 13. Hornets with the rebound. Middleton the pass to Roten. Charlotte moving the ball around. Here's Thomas. Misses the chippy right there.
Well, they'll be happy with that look, even though it didn't fall.
You know what? That's a confidence shaker for him, though. I mean, that's a shot he expects to make every time.
And this quarter, he has clearly been off the mark. And looking now at some numbers for Young, coming off a terrific season, averaged 17 points a game, 8 assists, and 9 rebounds. And you talk about guys who just have a nose for putting up points. He is one of them.
Yeah, he sure is, and he rarely has back-to-back bad games. If he has an off night, he usually follows that up with a big night.
Here's what Charlotte's going with right now. Green, he's checked in for Thomas. Wallace comes in for Chris Middleton. And Hansen subbed in for Tony Rote. Daly defended by Drummond. Burks pulls it in. And so it's Burks bringing it up now for the Hornets. Wallace dishes to Burks. Drummond sets the screen for Burks. And he drives in. Banked in off the glass. Burks has got 11.
It just seems like the more he touches it, the more the lead grows.
Now a timeout call by Brooklyn. Charlotte making some changes. Marcus All's checked in for Drummond. And Nate Robinson is subbed in for Hansen. Nets trailed by 3. Outside Conley. Young outside. That's in there. Conley with the assist. He's got 5.
Really smooth stroke from out there. He's dialed in.
Stolen by Conley. And oh, here we go. Conley, nobody back. Guys, 7 times the lead has changed hands here now.
Yeah, and that number should easily top double figures before it's over.
Wallace outside. Robinson against Conley. Robinson passes to Wallace. Now here is Robinson. He's guarded closely. Drills it from outside. And the Hornets lead by 1.
What a nice find from Robinson that time. Boy, does he love setting his teammates up.
Pass to Morrow. Yao in the post. Working on Gasol. Young from outside. Gerald Wallace grabs the miss.
And Kevin, they need to be consistent with their effort on the boards. You look at the box score, and they're at a definite disadvantage.
And, you know, time will tell how big a factor that becomes in this game, guys, but if you're the coaching staff, it's certainly a point of emphasis.
And although an undersized center, more than making up for it with some serious hops.
Clarkson, he's checked in for Charlotte.
And what you like about Gasol, he can put up big numbers, but he also does the little things that don't always show up on the stat sheet.
Now, here is Young. 5 points in the game. Yao with a screen on Green. Here's Young, and it's slammed in by Young.
The finish was nice, but the setup was better.
Yeah, GA, the pick working to full effect before the stuff.
And, you know, not enough help from the defense there to compensate. He gets a clean look, and that's exactly how you draw it up.
And he lays it straight in. Young's got it all tied up now for the Nets.
And they keep hammering away at him inside, forcing the ball into the paint.
And 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact. And he's got his first free throw of the game. Free throw good. Clarkson.
Shooting for the Hornets, Jordan Clarkson.
And he can't hit the second. And here's Conley outside. Well, it's been a high-scoring competitive game through the first quarter of play. Hornets lead by 1. And we'll be back shortly for the start of the second quarter. Some good action already in this one, but a fairly even matchup after the first quarter of play. And a chance for just a second to check out the scoring breakdown for the Hornets.
You know, right from the start, it seemed they got hot from three-point range, pulling apart the defense and racking up the points, too.
Oh, man, their mid-range jumper also has been on fire. Tough to beat a group of guys shooting with that much confidence.
Wallace outside. Off target from three-point range. And so it's Conley bringing up the ball for Brooklyn. They trail by 1. They're coming into this game off that recent loss to Atlanta.
Scoring efficiency was an issue in that one. Took them too many shots to get their points.
Yeah, and I think they just seem to be a page behind, a step slower out there all game.
Brooklyn foul call. Young. Second personal foul. First team foul.
Charlotte has gotten a success rate of just over 50% from three-point tonight. 4 of 7 shooting. Pass to Burks. That one a tad offline to the right, but drops in for him. Burks has got 13 points. Now Young. He had a 30-point outing their last game against Atlanta.
And they were just struggling to stop him. They sent him to the line over and over, and the free throws were a big part of the game.
Wide open look. Here's Yao. That one's in. His first bucket of the game. He's 1 for 2.
And Ming is mammoth in terms of his size, exceptional at using it to snare those offensive rebounds.
Pass to Burks. And the powerful one-handed slam.
Those plays can make a difference in a game like this.
Well, you know it's going to fire up, Greg, everybody on that bench.
Making a statement for sure. I mean, we'll see if they can maintain that aggressive approach, guys.
Goes back up. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul.
First personal foul.
It's going to go on Alec Burks.
Come on, man. How do you...